There's an NFL team who is dragging the entire sports world into a false sense of reality.
1, 2, 3, 4, 2,
kick it.
Welcome to the first edition of the GridIron Guru. I am the Guru, and I'll be here with you every week of the NFL season. I know we're starting at week 2. A friend of mine mentioned this a few years ago. You'll hear him on the program as Grasshopper. And he has mentioned to me over the years that my rants are NFL worthy. They're worthy of ESPN. He's keep wondering why I haven't done anything like this, and he finally said, you know what, you need to do this on YouTube. Well, what's funny is he said it a year and a half ago, and I never did it. So I decided that this is what we're going to do. We're going to be with you every week of the NFL season, starting this week. We'll also be here for the NFL Combine. We'll be here for the NFL Draft. We'll also be here for free agency and also the beginning of fantasy football, which I'm a huge fantasy football fan. In fact, starting next week, you'll see one of my fantasy football trophies behind me. I've won 3 fantasy football championships. Not that it really matters. Those aren't really credentials. I don't really have any major credentials other than my bachelor's degrees. But beyond that, I've just been an NFL fan my whole life. As you can tell, I am a 49ers fan. The Grasshopper, he's a Vikings fan, and my producer Kima is a Cardinals fan. And we're actually doing this as part of his school project as well. So this is going to be something that's going to be really fun. We're going to be doing 3 10-minute segments is how we're going to be running this. This is going to be kind of a podcast as well eventually, which is why I'm wearing the headset and why we're not going to be using the audio directly from the camera for this. However, we are going to be using different props, different things in the background. So please, if you have any suggestions for us, you can check us out online. You can email us at nfl.gridiron.guru@gmail.com. You can also check us out on Facebook. You can become a fan of the Football Gridiron Guru. And you can also catch us on Twitter at NFL Gridiron Guru. So with that, diving right into today's first episode, there's a couple of things that we're going to be talking about. I'm going to go through my preseason rankings. I'm going to give you what the rankings I had at the beginning of the season, regardless of how things have turned out right now, or how they may have been affected. I'm going to let you know what I started looking at, and I did this about 2 weeks out. After that, we're going to go through. We're going to be looking at, the 2 weeks of action. Where does everybody stand now? I have an interesting theory about an NFL team that I think is really, really, really going to surprise a lot of people with the diabolicalness of what their head coach has done. And then finally, I'll give you my power rankings of where we stand right now and give you some insights on what I think you'll expect next. So moving right along into my preseason rankings. Okay, well, we're going to start off at the NFC West because obviously I'm a 49ers fan. I want to start off there. In the NFC West, I've got the Cardinals at 10-6, the 49ers at 9-7, the Seahawks at 9-7, and the Rams at 3-13. I really think the NFC West is going to be a little bit better than everybody thinks. Plus, there's other divisions in the NFC that aren't going to be as strong. And based off of the team that they're playing in the AFC, or rather the division that they're playing in the AFC, I really think that's going to be where it's at. NFC South, I have the Atlanta Falcons winning that division with the New Orleans at 11-5, with the Saints finishing at 9-7, the Buccaneers at 6-10, the Panthers at 5-11. In the NFC North, I have the Vikings at 12-4. I have the Bears at 11-5, the Packers at 6-10, and the Lions at 4-12. In the NFC East, I have the Eagles at 12-4, the Giants at 11-5, the Cowboys at 8-8, and the Redskins at 5-11. The NFC Wild Card Playoff game is going to see the Bears playing at the Cardinals, with the Bears beating the Cardinals. The Giants at the Falcons, with the Giants beating the Falcons. The NFC Divisional Playoff, the Bears at the Eagles. The Eagles are going to win that handily. The Giants at the Vikings. The Vikings are going to steamroll their way through that one. With the NFC Championship, Vikings at Eagles, with the Vikings winning the NFC Championship and representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. In the AFC West, the Chargers, I have them at 13-3. There should be no surprise with the division they play in. The Raiders, I actually have at 8-8. I think they're going to be a lot more solid of a team than people think. The Chiefs, I have at 5-11, and the Broncos 2-14. I thought that they would win their first game of the season and the last game of the season. Obviously, I was wrong there. The AFC South, I got the Colts at 12-4, the Texans at 10-6, the Titans at 8-8, and the Jaguars at 4-12. In the AFC North, I have the Ravens winning that division outright at 13-3, the Steelers at 9-7, the Browns at 5-11, the Bengals at 3-13, and in the AFC East, I have the Patriots going 15-1, which I attributed that one loss to the New York Jets, albeit I didn't know if it would be at Foxborough or in New York. Obviously, after this weekend, it was in New York. The Dolphins, I have them at 8-8. The Bills, I have at 6-10, and the Jets, I have at 4-12. In the AFC wildcard playoff, I have the Texans at the Colts, with the Colts beating the Texans. I have the Steelers at the Ravens, with the Ravens winning handily. I have in the AFC divisional playoff the Colts at the Patriots, with the Patriots winning in Foxborough. The Ravens at the Chargers, with the Chargers beating the Ravens at home. Once again, another rematch from 2 years ago. The Chargers at the Patriots in Foxborough for the AFC Championship, with the Patriots winning, which makes Super Bowl 44 Vikings versus Patriots, and I have the Patriots giving the Vikings their 5th Super Bowl loss. So that is my preseason predictions. Now, to go back through a couple of them, I know that some of them have sort of been blown out of the water already. I actually did think that San Francisco was going to beat the Cardinals in Week 1. So that was kind of a surprise for the 49ers to start 2-0. Pleasant surprise for me as a 49ers fan. The Seahawks are right where I thought they would be. Going to the NFC South, the Falcons are right where they would be. The Saints, though, have come out a lot stronger than I thought they would coming out of the gate. And it's going to be interesting to see where they can go. I mean, granted, they've only played 2 teams, but one of them was the Philadelphia Eagles, who were supposed to have a really good defense. So we'll see how that goes. In the NFC North, I have the Vikings. I really think that Brett Favre is that difference maker that's going to really make the Vikings that contender. I really liked their draft pick in Percy Harvin, not just because I'm a Florida Gators fan, but because he is the playmaker that they were missing. He gives them a Marvin Harrison or Brandon Stokely type wide receiver to go along with Bernard Berrien, who can stretch the field. You already got a great running game in Adrian Peterson. They already have a good defense. All they were missing was a quarterback to complement all of that, and I think Favre was perfect there. The Bears at 11-5. I just think that Jay Cutler is the real deal. I know he kind of had a hiccup coming out in the first game last week. I agree with some of the commentators I've heard today. I think he was trying to win the Super Bowl on every throw, and I think he went back, he reevaluated himself, he looked at his film, and he realized that he was trying to force throws that he wasn't supposed to be throwing, and so that's why they were able to settle in, and I did actually pick them to beat the Steelers this week. So that was a good win there. The Packers, 6-10, they only won 6 games last year. 2 of them were against the Lions, which really meant that they were only 4-10. I really don't see them. Their defense is really solid. I think their offense is extremely overrated. You will see them completely melt down from an offensive standpoint. Aaron Rodgers does not have the poise that everyone thinks he does with Brett Favre and whatnot. In the NFC East, the Eagles, my preseason pick to win the NFC East at 12-4, majorly compromised with the injury to Donovan McNabb. I've always maintained that my preseason picks are based upon if every team remains healthy. Donovan McNabb going down in the first game, it's going to be really difficult. I really don't see Kevin Kolb being able to hold them up as much as they should. The Giants, I've got them at 11-5. I think that actually might get switched now. I think the Giants might end up going 12-4 with the Eagles going 11-5. The Cowboys, they still don't have it. They've got some moxie, but they don't have much more. The AFC, it's all no-brainers. You got the Chargers at 13-13. You got the Colts at 12-4. You got the Ravens at 13-3. The Patriots at 15-1. The Steelers are going to make it in, but they're not going to do much more than that. When we come back, we will be looking at the first 2 weeks of the NFL action, see what this year's Super Bowl champion may or may not be in the top 2-0. We'll be back right after this.